What it do, YouTube/Patreon/bit shoot. Today's video, I want to chime in with a quick impromptu video. In today's video, I want to talk about part two of the lack of diversity in the cannabis industry. Yes, part two of the lack of diversity in the cannabis industry. All right. So first things first. It was a few uh, pointers that I missed out on in the first video. I want to touch on. And one of those points was that, don't get me wrong, I know it's some diversity in the cannabis industry. Like, for example, like, I'm not saying like that the cannabis industry is closed off to having minorities involved. I'm not saying that like that. But how it's operating, it looks like that. But just because it looks like that don't mean that's what it is. But still, it looks like that. So, your mind can play tricks on you, type of thing. Now, the thing about that is, yes, it is some diversity, but it's still not enough minorities in the cannabis space, especially since minorities, so-called black and brown people, have been affected by it the most by the war on drugs. And yeah, it's a start, you know what I'm saying, to like reparations and things of that nature. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times, if you really think about it, and this is not me agreeing with the system or nothing like that, it's just me really thinking about this from a mature adult perspective. And basically what that means is, look at it like this. A lot of these politicians and these people, especially back then, you know what I'm saying, like, 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you know what I mean? Even if you want to go further than that, but I'm trying to at least keep it, somewhat recent, right? Like in that era, what I'm trying to explain. And basically, the thing is, a lot of people got locked up. We already know that, especially black and brown people. And a lot of people's lives got ruined for nonviolent crimes, just over a plant, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that grows in the ground, that comes out of the earth, something that's a living thing that the Most High, that God, the universe put on this earth, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of these politicians, they coming back and looking like, damn, like, what I did was wrong. But we just going off what the book said, what the law was saying, and what somebody else had previously written in these laws. See what I'm saying? And it's other things too, outside the cannabis industry. I know this is a cannabis video and things like that, but outside the cannabis industry, the Republicans, they have, I can't even big teeth with you, they have been doing a lot for the so-called black community. I'm saying so-called because you already know that we not black, you know what I'm saying? But they have, they've been releasing a lot of people that not supposed to be in jail, you know what I'm saying? And not the wrong people. See, Obama was releasing criminals. He was releasing the wrong people. I'm not talking about Obama, you know what I'm saying? He's a Democrat. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about the Republicans. Because Republicans, in its originality, was really for the people, by the people. And you got some people that might argue with me and say Republican or Republic, or, the Republic, it still represents that same type of structure. I personally don't think so, because a lot of the corruption that goes on. But for the most part, Republicans in that party was really for the people by the people. You see what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand, that the 99%, the masses, the people, have the power. These politicians and these other entities are just there to kind of like, to basically kind of carry out what the people want. They kind of like relay the message to the higher ups, kind of thing. If you want to put it, politics for dummies. Let's say it like that. You know what I'm saying? So, but with mind control, which is media, multi-ethnic destruction in America. You know what I'm saying? Which can be used for good or bad. You know, with proper brainwashing techniques, divide and conquer techniques, we can manipulate the 99%, make them think that we, the 1%, going on 2%, are in charge, but really it's 99%. See what I'm saying? And they started to try to give people reparations, the melanated people, so-called black and brown community. They kind of started giving us reparations slowly but surely by one, doing the cannabis thing, two, they doing like, these little stimulus checks and, trying to give people more programs and more job opportunities and things of that nature, which is very good, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm down for that, and then like a lot of people always say they wasted taxpayer money and we wasted taxpayer money and all that type of stuff. Actually, and it's like coming from a taxpayer because I pay taxes myself, of course. But I personally think, you know what I mean, that other taxpayers may disagree. People who are not taxpayers may agree, may disagree, whatever. But in my opinion, you know, you don't have to listen to this. But in my opinion, I personally think taxpayer money is being wasted anyway. You heard me, taxpayer money is being wasted anyway because, yeah, in some places, some cities, some states, they are repairing roads and doing all this type of stuff. But it seems like it's more schools shutting down. It's more just negative shit that's being built in certain aspects. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they give you some good shit, they gonna give you some bad shit. But it's like it's a lot of schools being shut down and a lot of inner cities throughout America, and not even just in one specific place. You see what I'm saying? They took religion, or they took prayer, or whatever you want to call it. Because each different religion call it something different. Worship hour or whatever. They took prayer, took religion out of the schools. You see what I'm saying? And it's just been, well, it's been just been downhill from there. But it's just a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? That you can go into. But they can't just give you money. You know what I mean? And a lot of people now they waking up to the land thing and shit like that. But it's like, yeah, people we want land and all that. But I think the best thing that they will probably be able to do for that is to lower the land prices, because this is how I personally feel. Think about it like this, right? And this is like, I'm not even an economist or nothing like that, but I study the economy. So I guess you can call me an economist. Because I study the economy. That don't mean I am an economist, but I just understand how an economy works. An economy is basically similar, same difference. You get it, same difference. It's the same, but it's different because it's different aspects, but it's same at the same time. It's like it's the same type of pattern, it's the same type of concept, but it's different at the same time because it's something different. It's different from each other. But uh, economy and the ecosystem is pretty much the same type of thing. It's just two different things. That's why it's the same difference because the ecosystem is something that's in nature, and the economy is like a money system that's in a society. You see what I mean? But it's maintained in a certain way because it's like a function. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a factory, like everything working symbiotically together type shit. You know what I mean? There's one function is working properly, and then once that function complete, it's gonna do something else. It's gonna do something else until it get to 100% complete, like process. Like basically, what I'm trying to say is, in the economy, right? If you're making all this money from taxpayers, and you got all these celebrities and all this different shit like that, right? And you're taxing them money. You got all these different Hollywood movies and shit, billboards, all this different shit that's generating money. You got all these restaurants, these mom and pop shops that's generating money. The economy shouldn't be crashing. It shouldn't be poor people. Yes, people make stupid decisions and do different dumb things like that. But humans, of course, just like any other entity, we go through metamorphosis. We go through different phases in our life. We go through ups and downs, of course. And that's not an excuse. It's just if you're a human and you've been through some shit. If you're a human and you haven't been through no shit, then of course you're not gonna be able to resonate with what I'm saying. But if you're a human and you've been through some shit and you don't have feel to actually go through something and overcome something and be a survivor, you know what I mean? Whether that's in your own aspect, whether that's something major, something minor, but you know how it is to be a survivor. You actually know how it feels to, be victorious on the other side when you go through something. You know what I mean? Something dramatic. Then you can relate to what I'm saying. But if you have a economy and all these different things that's generating money, it shouldn't be no homelessness. Shouldn't be no hunger. I ain't talking about no other countries right now. I'm speaking specifically on America because one, that's where I'm from. That's where I was born, and that's where I'm at now. That's why I'm speaking on America at this moment. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, it shouldn't be none of that. So, if if it is COVID, and you know which it is, and the economy is crashing and all this different shit like that, right? The economy crashing and all this stuff, right? If all that stuff is happening, which it is, shouldn't prices be lower? Now, listen, I know somebody out there, oh my God, look at this guy, blah, blah, blah. Listen, before you start being a judgmental mother. Yes, I know when it's, uh, what's it called? A flu, a virus or something, and it's a lockdown. That's gonna cause a chain of reaction, cause and effect. The cause was, oh, it was a COVID outbreak. The effect was it was a lockdown. So it's hard to get certain supplies, and if we get supplies, the price is gonna rise up because of supply and demand. All that I understand that. That's economy. I know that. But what I'm saying is, at the same time, if you're still generating all this money, whether you having a fucking global crisis or not, you should have enough money and enough resources as a nation that's generated from all these different states and taxpayers' money to be able to fund these different projects. You see what I'm saying? To fund these different government programs. You know what I mean? Yes, they do have a few out here, but there should be more. You know what I mean? Prices should be going lower instead of higher. You know what I mean? Especially since they pumping out stimulus checks, and that's the whole point of pumping out stimulus checks to give people money so they can spend it, so it can come right back into the fucking economy. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, you shouldn't just have to depend on a stimulus check, for your economy to be generating revenue, which I know for a fact that's not true. You don't have to be a fucking economist to see that shit. You have all these different entities from businesses, from these different states, from travel, from, beverages, food, snacks, you know what I'm saying, housing, you know what I mean? All this different shit that they generate money on and taxing, and you're not making enough money to fund all these projects, so prices should be lower because there's money coming in. You see what I'm saying? Prices shouldn't be going higher, and that's the same thing. You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion on that. And like I said, I understand that supply and demand, that inflation shit. I understand that, but you paying more for the air that's in the fucking bag of chips than you are for the actual chips that's in the bag, huh? What does that mean? No, that shit's funny. What does that mean? Basically, what I'm saying by that is, like, if you like eat chips or some shit like that, you grab a bag of chips at the top, all that shit is nothing but air. It be all the way at the bottom. You know what I mean? Come on, that's inflation. You see what I'm saying? You getting less for more money. Like, come on, bro. And the thing is, these people got funds to build rockets and shit and give to other countries for whatever business ventures they have with them and all this different stuff. And they had money to send to Ukraine. And don't understand, and don't get me wrong, the stuff that's going on in Ukraine right now is totally messed up. You know what I mean? It's not funny. It's not a game. It's not a joke. And I'm not saying they don't deserve supplies. I'm not saying that for them because in their situation they need it. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about other countries, how America just be sending other countries, like it was a COVID relief bill. Excuse me, something that Trump was releasing. This was back in like 2020. They did like a press conference on it. And I ain't watched the whole thing, but it was like a 5,000 page bill. And they was reading some of the stuff off on it, and they was talking about giving like I don't even know, like 60 billion, 80 billion dollars to Cambodia. And I'm like, what the fuck they giving Cambodia that much money for? I don't know what type of business ventures, I don't have nothing against Cambodia, nothing like that. It's a very powerful Asiatic country, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, cause think about it. Like, when they did this press conference, some of y'all might remember this, some of y'all might not. But on that press conference, on that COVID relief bill they did back in 2020, they was just reading it off, and at the bottom of it, at the last, at the last thing, it said every American citizen. Like they was just naming off different shit, like 60 billion going to Cambodia, another 50 million going to this country, another this going to this continent, another 100 million going to this place, and then the average American gets $600 for their stimulus check. Come on, man, you gotta wake up. They giving all this money that they making and shit to other countries, but they giving their own natives, their own citizens who built this shit. And if you ain't built it yourself, our ancient ancestors who built this shit, that people don't want to admit, but they know what time it is. You see what I'm saying? That built this shit, blood, sweat, and tears, and they taxing you for your own stuff. So, yeah, man. But and that's the same thing that's going on with cannabis. This is an ancient medicine that's been out for hundreds of thousands of years, if not millions of years. You see what I'm saying? Because this plant was brought down uh, by, you want to call them, I want to say Anunnaki, but I think it's a different name. But I think Anunnaki will be the most respectable word because Anunnaki means from above, down below. The gods who came from above, down below. That's what Anunnaki means. But that would be like the best thing. But I think it's a different term. But anyway, the Anunnaki brought down the marijuana plant. This is ancient eons ago and shit like that. And just where you get this information from, Billy Carson. Go check out Billy Carson, Forbidden Knowledge. You see what I'm saying? He's on YouTube, astrophysicist, he goes deep into this type of stuff. But he was talking about it, how he was reading these ancient tablets and stuff like that. And see, damn, I low-key forgot my train of thought. That's just funny. You see that? Damn, what was I saying? But yeah, it's the ancient medicine. The Anunnaki, they brought down the marijuana plant to the Dogon tribe. You see what I'm saying? And the Dogon tribe was like one of the first like ancient people that was like on this planet at that time. You know what I mean? and they brought it down to them. And, the Anunnaki showed the Dogon tribe how to like bathe themselves and how to do all this like higher knowledge type of that stuff. You know what I mean? And then the cannabis plant was like brought here to basically the cannabis plant was brought here to cause world peace. You see what I'm saying? To open up people's minds, to cause world peace, but it wasn't just for that. It was for multiple reasons. See, the cannabis plant is multifaceted. Like it can heal your body. You know what I mean? It can heal your mind. But at the same time, this is a world of duality. So if it can heal your mind, it can heal your body. It can also do damage to your mind and damage to your body if you're using it incorrectly, if you're using it too much, or like I said, everybody's body different. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're doing something you can't handle it, then you're doing it out of moderation. So it's probably gonna have a negative effect. You might have a negative trip, or like different things of that nature. But if you're using it properly in moderation, it can heal your body, heal your mind. You know what I mean? You can see, um, like it helps you see. Like it just opens up your mind, your third eye, your first eye, your pineal gland. You see what I mean? But and that's the thing. You don't have to smoke it. I'm not advocating nobody that's smoking it like that. You don't have to smoke it. You know what I mean? You do whatever you want to by choice. Like I choose to do that. You know what I mean? That's just my choice. But you can eat it. You know what I mean? That's the best way to really get it. You can use it in oils. You know what I mean? Concentrates. But make sure what you're getting or whatever is legit, of course. But yeah, like you can ingest it, and that's like really the best way to get the best effects and stuff like that. But but yeah, like that's why it's been this war on drugs, war on cannabis, and all that shit. It's a controlled substance and all that shit. All this propaganda to keep motherfuckers locked down, keep motherfuckers asleep, not being healed, because you don't get it. You don't get it, do you? Marijuana, weed. That yeah, that's so funny. It's a threat to the pharmaceutical companies and the alcohol companies, the alcohol industry. Because cannabis alone, CBD, cannabidiol, Delta 9, THC. I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't pronounce. I know what the long word is, the scientific word of THC, but I can't pronounce it. You know what I mean? Because it's just a big ass word. You know what I mean? But Delta 9. You see what I mean? It can open your mind, but the Delta 9 is more of the psychedelic effects and stuff. But that's why it's been a war on this stuff. That's why it's been a war on all this stuff that's healing. Because with cannabis out the way, with cannabis illegal, we could bring alcohol. Now we could bring in tobacco. And tobacco was good too. Tobacco was on the same level as marijuana. But they started fucking with it. They started splicing it and fucking with the genes of the tobacco plant. So when you smoking this tobacco that's coming from these stores and these companies, it's already laced up with 7,000 plus chemicals. And that's why if you grow your own tobacco, which is very highly illegal in a lot of places, because they know that tobacco, I had real tobacco before, it will open up your third eye. And tobacco, you don't have to just smoke it either. You can make teas out of tobacco leaves. And that rhymes, and I wasn't even trying to rhyme. But you can make tea out of tobacco leaves. Real talk. And it is healing, different type of effects. And tobacco is a laxative as well. So it's different things like that. But that's why it's been a war on these things. see what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm not advocating none of this stuff. And yes, it was a prohibition on alcohol at one point in time, but that was still a part of their agenda, so they can do their other agenda later on. See, these people are called men of coordinates. Men of coordinates. What does that mean? It means, and it's funny too because I'm a man of coordinates myself. Because a man of coordinates is somebody, no matter how slow I may move, at the end of the day, I'm still gonna reach my end goal at the end of the day because I'm gonna continue to make progress no matter how slow I move. And this is how these people operate. They are men and women of coordinates. Yeah, their operations or their plans might get foiled or fouled at one point in time, but they're gonna keep working towards that goal. Like an entrepreneur, they're gonna keep working towards that goal. And after they keep making this process, this progress, slowly but surely, they're gonna get to their goal eventually. Because while they getting to their goal, or while I'm getting to my goal, I'm mastering myself while I'm on that journey of getting to my milestone, getting to my goal. You see what I'm saying? This shit is real deep. Wake the damn up. You see what I'm saying? Real talk. This shit is deep, man.